Hi, my name is Briana Valencia.
And my name is Kevin Kanawati.
And welcome to TWVocalize Chat.
Today, we're going to talk about Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson and how she became the 116th Associate Judge of the United States Supreme Court.
Okay, so what is the Supreme Court? Let's start there, because I know a lot of people don't really know what the Supreme Court is in the first place, so we want to explain that before we explain how important it is and what position she got nominated to. So, the Supreme Court of the United States is the highest court in the federal judiciary of the United States. It has ultimate and largely discretionary appellate jurisdiction over all federal and state court cases that involve a point of federal law and original jurisdiction over a narrow range of cases, specifically all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, counsels, and those in the state shall be party. The court holds the power of judicial review, the ability to invalidate a statute for violating a provision of the Constitution, and it also is able to strike down presidential directives for violating either the Constitution or statutory law. However, it may only act within the context of a case in the area of the law which it has jurisdiction. The court may decide having cases having political overtones, but has ruled that it does not have the power to decide non-justiciable political questions. So, basically, this court is the highest court in the entire United States of America. So sometimes the cases get pushed, like they get appealed. Sometimes they can get appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court.
It's the courts of all courts, basically.
Yes.
So when this happened for Judge Jackson, it happened on April 7th of 2022, so this year, by the bipartisan group of senators confirmed it for her nomination. Before this, President Obama actually nominated Judge Jackson to be judge for the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia in 2012. She was confirmed to be by also the bipartisan support group in 2013. 4 women have been on the Supreme Court. Judge Jackson will be the 5th woman to ever sit in the Supreme Court. Before she becomes a Supreme Court judge, the current judge must retire.
So I think her credentials and everything speak for themselves. From 1992 to 93, she was a staff reporter and researcher at Time magazine. Fast forward a couple years, from 1998 to 1999, she was associate at Miller Cassidy, LaRocca, and Lewin LLP. Fast forward a couple more years, 2002 to 2003, she was an associate at Feinberg Rosen LLP, formerly known as Feinberg Group. Fast forward again, 2005-2007, assistant federal public defender in Washington, D.C. In 2010 to 14, she was a vice chair and commissioner at the United States Sentencing Commission. And then in September 20th, 2012, President Barack Obama nominates Jackson for the U.S. District Court. And on March 23rd, 2013, the Senate votes to confirm Jackson. So there was like a lot going on with her. But it's like, it speaks for itself, and like she's obviously very qualified for this position. Mm-hmm. And like, I for one am excited that they've elected another woman. The fact that there was only been 4 is kind of crazy to me. It's 2022, but you know what? I think a small victory. This isn't actually a small victory. I think this is a huge victory for women, and especially women of color.
Yeah. She'll be the first Black woman to be in the Supreme Court justice, and that's just amazing.
That has broken so many barriers, I think, for so many women of color, especially Black women. The way she held herself over those 4 days, I think speaks a lot for her, and I don't know. I'm just really excited in general that this is going to be opening so many doors. What is your take on it? Oh, before we dive in, real quick. Little sponsorship for TWV. If you notice these books we have in front of us, these are from our banned book collection here at TWV, and everyone is welcome to come check out our banned books. These just happen to be some of our favorites today. So we would love for you guys to come check out. What is this one?
This is Anti-Racist Baby.
Anti-Racist Baby. If anyone would love to check that book out. Anyways, back to talking about the first Black woman nominated to the Supreme Court. Go ahead, Kevin. What's your take on this?
I think this is really exciting. As she was being questioned for her position and her qualifications in the court, like you could see if you watch those videos, she's very calm and has a great manner and like she just knows how to listen and take all that information, even if it seemed to really go against her, and not act on like a negative emotion and not let it get to her, especially if it was being targeted towards her, and to just really just state the facts and state what is true in a very calm manner. She's well educated, she's very smart, she's very nice. Even her friends apparently always knew that she will be in the Supreme Court one day, and like really thought her to just be such an amazing woman, and clearly she is.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that she could represent so many generations, especially of women and women of color, just to feel like even if they don't understand her position too well, if they are interested in politics, they could just be like, oh my God, someone that looks like me, I could do this.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing.
I think that's great too. No, but like I think the way she held herself while she was being questioned by senators and everyone, like there's a real big difference in the last nomination with Judge Kavanaugh, who, like, I don't know, I think it says a lot about how women, especially black women, are expected to remain calm and like to the facts. Okay, real quick, little interruption. My dogs happen to be in the office today because TWV is very dog and pet friendly. But this guy, if you hear him barking, we are sorry for the interruption. Anyways, the way I think that Judge Kavanaugh held himself, and everyone can look up the videos, they're on YouTube and for the whole world to see for the rest of eternity and for history. He got very emotional, was crying. I mean, that's fine. It's okay to be emotional, and you can have all the emotions in the world. But the fact that she, I think as a woman, a black woman, is expected to hold her composure, or she'll be labeled as, you know, such and such, so we all know exactly what it is, says a lot, I think, about America. And the fact that a different Supreme Court judge that was a woman got nominated, everyone voted for her. And it was like, you know, everyone. There wasn't, what were the numbers? 52 to like 47, I believe?
I think so.
I think that was a little, 53 to 44 confirmed Judge Jackson. I think that kind of says a lot, and I'm like, how come the first black woman to get nominated to the Supreme Court, or has been selected to the Supreme Court, like, why was there such a divisive opinion? I don't know. I think it says a lot about America as a whole, and who's in our Supreme Court. I don't know. What do you think about Kevin, about the 53 to 44?
It just seemed, I understand there's a difference of opinion sometimes, but like if you see a lot of the people who voted against her and said no, they just said nothing but praise towards her and thought, like, plenty of them, like, she's more than, I think one person, I forgot who, said she's more than qualified, and she's what?
I'm going to vote no.
Yeah, I'm going to vote no. I'm just like, why? And it just...
Oh, yes, all the videos.
Yeah, if you guys follow The Daily Show at all, there's a nice cut that he put on, Trevor Noah put on his Instagram, basically everyone who was just talking so well about her and why she should be a high figure in politics, and then just said no, and it just seemed like, what is the point of saying no if you truly believe she can make a difference, and she is the eye of America? So it just seems, I don't know. I don't want to assume for what they thought, but it doesn't make sense to me whether or not they just want to keep their club to be closed, or they just don't think she doesn't fit their personal criteria. It's not about personal. It's just about.
She has all the qualifications. So like, what criteria?
I don't know.
What criteria? That's what I want to know. I want you guys to answer
that. One, probably.
Like, they literally are praising those women for her qualifications. Like, she's an intelligent woman. She obviously has like the experience necessary, and like, what better person to put on the court? And the videos of them praising her, and then cuts to like, I'm gonna vote no. So it's just like, tell us how you really feel. Tell us why you voted no. I would love to hear exactly the actual bare bones reason, but it's gonna happen anyway, whether they like it or not. So, I mean, And the great thing about this is that, like, we're going to see who voted no, and future generations are going to see this and know exactly where in time these Congress members voted. And it's crazy because, like, you ever, like, read history and you're like, I can't believe, like, they did that and everyone was okay with it in the country, or, like, this was, like, history. Like, that's crazy. This is going to be one of those moments, like, in the future, there's going to be some kid, like, learning about the first black woman to be nominated to the Supreme Court, and they're like, what do you mean it was
43 to 53?
53 to 44, so I'm really bad at numbers. Like, what do you mean it was that? Like, how come she wasn't just voted in? Like, she has the credentials, she has, like, the work history, everything. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be crazy because I'm pretty sure in a couple years there's going to be kids be like, what?
I think there'll be a lot of comparisons to, God, what was the man who was trying to, he had a sex scandal in the 80s or something like that in college.
Is it about Kavanaugh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, how he like, I was saying, like, it's okay as a man to hold these emotions, but, like, he had all these emotions, and they're like, oh, he still got nominated.
Yeah, and he got nominated, and not only throughout not being emotionally right within the hearing, sometimes he was just way too emotional and not professional. He was also with a big scandal.
Yes.
And most people, they basically passed him through it, and he has his job now. And I think a lot of people are going to be like, how was that basically an okay, let's get him through it? But it was a challenge for Judge Jackson to get through.
Exactly.
Why was that an issue when they had nothing but praise to give to her? And it just seemed like a lot of the text was just trying to find a reason for them to hate her. Like, counting for this book, if you saw the thing with Ted Cruz, it was just small nitpicky things that don't make sense, and they could just try to twist it into things like, oh no, you see, she's not right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. It's just personal bias, whether it's just racially led or if it's just something else. It kind of feels racially led.
I know.
I don't want to say that, but it just feels like it.
Yeah, well, it's just like, you know, we're nonpartisan here and everything, but, like, you can look up the videos yourself and the facts. And to quote Ted Cruz, we're not cherry picking the facts, but they actually were. There was a lot of facts and, like, picking and choosing on what they were presenting. But then again, like, I don't know. I just think it's crazy, and, like, what makes me, like, really excited is that, like, the Supreme Court is starting to look more like America, and I think that's what they're scared of. I think that's, like, the biggest fear and why they're so against it. We have a Hispanic woman, a black woman. I mean, we have a long way to go, like, for
It's a start.
Yeah, Supreme Court to look like the rest of America. The highest court in the country that makes really huge decisions on, like, things like, you know, Roe versus Wade and all kinds of things. You would hope that it's a group of, like, you know, diversified individuals and not just, you know, all white men, like it's been forever. So I'm really excited that it's getting a little diversified. And the fact that we were able to see history live was really exciting, but a little sad at the same time that we're in 2022 and it's just like, well, I wish this would happen, like, you know, back then, but I guess we're the generation that's going to be pushing forward until we get to see what we want in this country when we start voting.
It's just, like I said earlier, it just ties back into if we have a whole Supreme Court, or at least a lot of people in politics who are just not predominantly white, but just some people of color.
Yeah.
And just every race, white, black, Asian, and all that, we will have more representation. We'll have more cultures and more acceptance, I think, as well, of to different people and to how life is. I think we stay in an old generation's mindset because we just keep on stacking into that one predominant group. And I think we could grow and change as people if we just allow ourselves to just diversify a bit, just have more people. It's great. It's amazing. Yeah. It's what we think of as America.
Yeah. That's what America is, actually, but it needs to be presented that way as well. That's like, also, like, let's talk about, like, we were talking off camera a little bit earlier about the Supreme Court, and I've gotten to visit the Capitol a few times. And, like, I was really excited to see the Supreme Court, and I was like, wow, like this is where like so many decisions are made. Like, wow, it's gonna be like amazing. And like obviously there's a little red velvet like I don't know, like little thing where you can't pass.
Yeah.
Because like you obviously can't go into the Supreme Court. It's like a very important room, but they have like a little door propped open. And like, tell me why. Like, it's like old little creaky benches. Like, I think like maybe if we put some comfortable chairs in there, they would make like better decisions.
They'll be actually happy.
They're like trying.
Oh, wow! I don't want to die. It's great.
No, like I'm saying like those benches look really uncomfortable. Like they're like it's like old. I'm pretty sure that wood's been there forever. Like and like just like imagine making like. You have like a long day going through like court cases and everything, and there's like something like really important like you guys are discussing, and the last thing like you're worried like and they're like older too, so it's just like what if their back is hurting?
Do you think they like keep the old things
Cushions?
to preserve? No, probably not. Like to preserve like this is like representing the
for
ones
sure,
from
but
2000s.
I think they should probably be more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because they're making really important decisions.
There's certain things to preserve,
if
like
they're
the Lincoln
rushing-
Memorial. Yes, a seat.
But what if they're like rushing through decisions because their backs hurt? On
like-
those old little creaky benches. I'm just saying, I've seen it and I won't take it down. I've seen it and like it's or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's great that we have the first Black woman ever elected. As I'm so excited, but I hope she like takes some comfy cushions. Like I don't know. Let's revolutionize the Supreme Court while we're at it. Some IKEA furniture.
This is gonna do a whole IKEA furniture.
I
style
mean, they
right
can
there.
hire if they're hiring. Like I can like jazz it up in there. I bet you I would make it look real cute.
I think so.
I think we need like some pink in the Supreme Court. Because why is there no
That'd be
color?
great. Get some Pepto-Bismol color in there, right there.
No, like some actual color in there, like something to bring life. Like, or like, have you ever been? Oh, we were at the Arizona State Capitol. Speaking of, and I think it's really cool the way they designed it. So in there, so you go in and it's like the carpet is a certain color to remind you of like the river. And then the chamber's like lower because we have like the Grand Canyon pictures around. I think it's kind of cool because like you're voting like at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and it like reminds you of like what you're voting for, like the state of Arizona. So what if we put something in there besides like pictures of old
Something that
history
leads.
figures that are dead already? Like let's put like maybe pictures of like what America looks like today, and like this is what you guys are voting on.
It's very integral that the workplace that you are doesn't feel like a prison. It doesn't,
They need new
not
chairs.
only visually, but like just, physically as well.
Yeah.
So like, I think it was actually like a smart, because it looked like where we went, it looked modernized, but also still classy.
Professional.
Yeah, professional, classy. I don't know how to say it, but like, it still looked, I guess, mature. And it still looked like this is like a public office place. Like,
Supreme Court should take notes.
yeah, it looked nice and inviting, but also like this is definitely a place to work.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna have to go and take Kevin one time and be like, look, this is where all the important decisions are made, and it's just like
It's a dream. I do want to go to Washington. I've been saying that for
You'll
the
be
last 4
disappointed.
years. I just want
in the Supreme Court house the way it looks.
Yeah.
I'm like, Washington is beautiful. I love going there,
I really
but
wanna go.
the Supreme, I was like, that's it. I was like, have you heard of that SpongeBob thing where like something falls on the floor and it's wah? That's literally what I was like there. I was like, wow, I traveled across the country for this. I was like,
Oh, man.
I had lunch in the cafeteria. I was more excited.
You're just crying whenever you
No,
want.
I had lunch there. I'm like, wow, it was more like visually appealing down here. It was like in the basement. I was like, whatever.
Oh man, I do want to go to Washington. It seems like a great place to go.
Yeah, we should. And if we do, we'll take a camera, we'll vlog. TWV in Washington.
Ooh,
Or, you know what?
I'll be down. We
You know,
have
we
Brent
were like
pay for everything.
brainstorming on our vlogs chat, but it's okay. But we're like so excited about what's gonna happen and what we're gonna be talking about next time. We're so excited for first Black woman to be nominated, and we really hope you can join us next time. Leave any comments or likes, register to vote, update your voter registration if you haven't, and catch us next time.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye.